Hi, everyone. Reverend Stephanie Wild here, psychic medium and spiritualist minister. Notre Dame Cathedral, according to human perception, caught on fire yesterday and burned for a few hours. And that the feelings that brought up in people, and the fact that it is such a widely known, perhaps known, familiar to everyone on the planet. I don't think that's true, but anyway, most of us means that it's a really great opportunity to use it as an example of how we can apply the teachings of A Course in Miracles to find peace. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to explain, to apply the whole thing, the whole course to this thing. Let's see if I crash and burn. All right, so I can always delete this. Okay, so I was looking at all of the different reactions that people had all over Facebook and whatnot. I also had some French visitors staying with me, and I have a bunch of French friends. So the first level of reaction that I noticed was that a lot of people were posting vacation pictures and saying, "So glad I got to see it. It's so devastating that it's going to be gone." And let's just set the baseline here. It's not gone. The wood burned, there's damage, they're going to rebuild, they've already got billions donated, so let's all just relax at that level. So there are people saying, and I'm going to read a few things here. Sickening, we were going to go at the end of the year, I can't watch. That's all about me. We were going to go, and now we're missing out, and I can't watch. That is pure ego. I want something that lots of other people have had. It was going to make me feel great. It was going to make me feel special. And now I'm not going to get it. Other comments were like, glad I got to see it 2 times. I have visited nearly 10 times. It's so beautiful. The loss of a world treasure. It was a great gift to visit Notre Dame in 2009 and attend the mass that Daniel Roth played on the mighty organ. Oh, I'm so special. We're all very special because we got to go see it. Now this is just pure ego. So that's fairly easy to see. That's fairly easy to move past if we are spiritual seekers. Then let's take another little step further. One comment was, I couldn't remember if I went inside Notre Dame when I was in Paris. Memory's a strange thing. Glad I did, and for once I took a lot of pictures. Okay, so that's really interesting. So this person couldn't even remember if they went inside. But then he found out, oh, he did. So I'm special. Thank goodness I saw it, even though I couldn't remember. It really didn't have a lot of meaning spiritually to him, but his ego was very, very happy that he took photos so he could prove that he was there. So this just goes to show that it means nothing if we can't remember something. So all the people that were saying, I'm so glad I got to go, oh no, I'm not going to get to go, all they're doing is using their memory to give themselves a special experience, to give their ego a special experience. So then it shouldn't be too hard to listen to lesson 2 of A Course in Miracles and accept it. Lesson 2 says, I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. And so that should be fairly easy to accept. And very shortly after that, the course says that I see only the past. So that's lesson 7. I see only the past. And let me give you some examples of that. So someone commented that watching Notre Dame burn is like reliving watching the towers go down that day in New York all over again. So that the meaning of Notre Dame burning to that person is based on a past experience, a past memory. Memory is just ephemera. Someone else says the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral brings back memories of the fire at Independent Presbyterian Church in Birmingham in 92. So again, the meaning of Notre Dame is based on memory. Now, depending on what your profession is or what your expertise is, people had different feelings, different experiences of Notre Dame burning. Historians were sad because they were seeing the history disappear. Why are they sad? Because they're a historian, because they've studied all of these facts, all of this stuff about history. It's based on the past. Not just because it's history, but because they studied it. It's all in their memory. If they didn't have this information, they wouldn't be sad to be losing it. Same with the architects. If they didn't have the memory of what all the different kinds and styles and eras and where they were, if they didn't have all of that in their memory from the past, then they wouldn't be so devastated to see Notre Dame burning. Same goes for Catholics. All of their upbringing in the Catholic Church gives them memories, and they're reacting to the projection of those memories and beliefs onto the picture of Notre Dame burning. I didn't hear from firefighters, but I imagine they have a very specific kind of thought and therefore feeling based on their own training and experiences. And then there are those who were very politically active people. And they were saying things like, the soul-crushing loss of Notre Dame is devastating because we're living at a time in history where humanity seems lost. Someone says it's like an apocalyptic metaphor for the world at large. It was the oldest nexus of power in the Western world. The loss is like a disturbance in the force. It feels like the center of humanity has burned. It's foreboding. It feels like just one more victory for the destructive forces coming from he who shall not be named. So if you're very politically active, and you're especially politically active in the 2016 US election, and your candidate did not end up serving as in the position of president, then that collective experience seems to be a sense of foreboding and evil rising, and that is because of the experiences that they've had in the past. So we see only the past. That's a very, very important step in what A Course in Miracles teaches. It's a very important step in getting to freedom from anger and resentment, getting free from the bondage of self. It's a key step, and the course spends quite some time on that. So as I say, this is a crash course. We're crashing through, right? So we've taken the first 2 big steps. Now, a lot of the reactions to Notre Dame burning by people were negative, sadness, horror, and so on, because they saw Notre Dame as representing a positive thing. History, architecture, beauty, collaboration of humans, a sanctuary, beauty, or, they're just a nice holiday. Now, there are those then who popped up all over social media saying that they did not see Notre Dame burning as a negative thing, because their experiences led them to feel that the Notre Dame itself represented negative things, such as the destruction and enslavement of my people. She says, I'm so glad to hear someone else say that they're not emotional over this cathedral with its creepy gargoyles and demons and weird carvings, because I have no emotional connection to a cathedral of a religion dedicated to destruction and enslavement of my people. Then someone else said, I follow several photographers in Ireland, and they have pictures of ruins of ancient churches everywhere. And she said that I upset one of them by saying, I love to see a church in ruins. I will never be sad to see a church in ruin. Religion needs to end. So these are they seem like completely opposite feelings. And again, it should be clear that that I only see the past, and that I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Seemingly completely opposite reactions to the same thing, based on conditioning, based on past, based on memories, based on beliefs that were previously learned. So at this point in the course, in our crash course, we should be able to, we should believe, it should be easy enough to believe that the burning of Notre Dame does not have one meaning. Each person that is watching is giving it meaning. It does not have an absolute truth to it. Okay, and so that's the first step in freeing ourselves from the illusion that we're living in, freeing ourselves from the bondage of self. Okay, now, those two kinds of reactions, the, oh, I'm so sad that the church is burning, and the, I don't care because it feels like oppression to me, are equally valid. Now, the next step is to understand that they are equally invalid. I'm going to jump way forward in the course to lesson 68 in a minute, because I just want to point out that the earlier lessons, the exercises, the course makes it very, very clear that any thoughts we have are equally, are as much an illusion. Our positive thoughts are as much an illusion as our negative thoughts, right? So that's built into the course. So if we go to lesson 68, it says, love holds no grievances. So these grievances that it's testament to the destruction and enslavement of my people, while that may seem like the right way of thinking about this huge ancient, well, it's not ancient, it's 850 years old, Catholic cathedral, while that may seem more enlightened, more woke, more valid, it's not. Okay, it's not, because anger, resentment, grievances are equally as illusory as positive memories. There is no difference. There's no hierarchy. Okay, so no, I'm not going to contest how any Native American peoples or any oppressed peoples feel, because the first step is operating in an appropriate way, in doing the right thing on the physical level, in the level where we are. We have to start where we are, okay? But this is a crash course in miracles, so I'm just pushing us right through. So those resentments, those grievances are equally as invalid. They're equally as illusory as any kind of positive feelings. They're no more woke, right? as far as freeing ourselves completely from the bondage of self. Okay. So the point is that the next step is that none of it, neither the cathedral nor the burning of it, is actually real, right? So that's like the fourth step. And this is where it gets really hard and we meet a lot of resistance. Now, I'm here right now doing this crash course in miracles because yesterday I made a post and someone said, look, I'm going to contradict you. The cathedral is real. It is burning. We are living in 3 dimensions. Like, no, it seems like we are, but we are in fact not. So if we've come this far in the course and we have accepted, experienced that our thoughts create our experience, that we are giving meaning to everything we see, then logically, together, our minds have created everything we see, literally. And, you know, physics says, what do they say? Like, if you add up all the, I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm not going to try to do it, but try to say it. But, you know, basically there's more nothing in the world than there is mass, you know. So everything is nothingness. You know, physics has described that to us. But that doesn't matter. It's all about our experience ourselves. So this is where we lose a lot of people and we get a lot of resistance, because all of a sudden the course is telling us nothing exists except in our minds. You know, and other spiritual traditions do say that as well, most notably Buddhism. In Buddhism, there is a thing called meditation on nothingness. And it's really cool. It's a really cool exercise. Let me do it in like 2 seconds. Crash course. Meditation on nothingness, which is like a really advanced Buddhist like meditation. But if we think of Notre Dame, someone else said, for example, Notre Dame is Paris. Notre Dame is France. Okay. Well, it's not. Okay, because imagine if Notre Dame was gone, was burned, it did burn to the ground. Is Paris still Paris? Yeah, of course it is. Imagine if we took Paris, out of France, and put it in Brooklyn. Is Paris Paris? Maybe, maybe not. It's all about how we perceive things, right? And if we follow that path, we soon come to the mind-blowing realization that Paris does not exist except in our minds. Okay, so now we've got to the point where we have reached right-mindedness. Okay, and the next step then is one-mindedness. And that's where we have absolutely, completely and utterly accepted that our minds created the universe. So in fact, the Big Bang was a thought. And we thought ourselves away from God, away from source. We separated ourselves from source by thinking it. And we are now caught in the matrix. We're now caught in this spiral of illusion, in this insanity of illusion. And if only we can become one again with source, where there is no separation, we have reached one-mindedness. We have reached peace. And so when I look at Notre Dame burning, I remember all this and I say, why has the world made Notre Dame burn? What is that a symbol of? Ultimately, it's a symbol of the separation of us from source, from spirit, from the unified field. Everything is a symbol. Everything is a metaphor. And what is that then trying to teach us? And that's, I'm just going to leave that as an open question. And I'm going to read this from lesson 132. So now we've jumped to a lesson 132. Now, okay, I'm just going to read this. Lesson 132. The lessons get very long as the course goes on. But it is pride that argues you have come into a world quite separate from yourself. Okay, so we believe we're separate, and that's pride. There is no world. It says it right here. There is no world. It's lesson 132, page 243, paragraph 6, sentence 2. There is no world. This world does not exist, only in our minds. This is the central thought the course attempts to teach. That is where we're going. And that scares a lot of people off, right? You don't have to believe it right now. Not everyone is ready to accept it, the course says, and each one must go as far as he can let himself be led along the road to truth. So if you're feeling a lot of resistance and you're like, what the? This is nuts. Just take a step back, but please, come and join us in the Facebook group. And when the podcast launches, when I take us through slowly and don't do this crash course, it's okay. It's really, really difficult to jump from here to here, and you're not supposed to. There's 365 lessons here, and this is even only lesson 132. And this is, all right, I'm gonna let me keep going. Okay, so let me read that all together. It is pride that argues you have come into a world quite separate from yourself. There is no world. This is the central thought the course attempts to teach. Not everyone is ready to accept it, and each one must go as far as he can let himself be led along the road to truth. He will return and go still farther, or perhaps step back a while and then return again. So it's practice, 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 which is why there are 365 lessons. Okay. There's so much to say, right? It's really funny, because it's really, really so simple. Everything is illusion and we create everything, and let's just get aligned with source and everything is fine. Everything's happy. But the ego is so strong. The illusion feels so real. It's so hard to get out of it. And that's why we practice and practice and take a step back and come forward. All right. So anyway, that was my crash course in miracles. And I hope it made some people feel better about Notre Dame burning. It's not real. It's just a symbol. It's just a metaphor for the fire inside us, the separation from source. Okay, so I think I did okay. I didn't crash and burn too badly. I think I did okay. But I wanted to just do that because that's the truth of it, right? And so that's where Buddhism too differs from the course. Buddhism goes up to right-mindedness, and the course teaches one-mindedness. And the different spiritual traditions concentrate on different sort of parts of this whole process. So that's it. We'll see if this stands the test of time. But anyway, thank you. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna shut down, and I'm gonna come back. In a little bit and do some tarot readings, because that's the fun stuff. Am I gonna fall in love? Well, everything is illusion anyway. So does it really matter? And what is it symbolic of? I can't start there because we're not all there. And that's why we're here. So I love you. Thanks for hanging in with me. And I hope this helped. All right. See you later.